Oops. I'm sorry. So sorry. Hello, you guys. I'm on the computer again today, so the camera's all blurry, but let's just ignore that. I still wanted to come on. I like for you guys to see me. But I was showing you my little travel journal that Broken Justice sent me, which I'm really excited because I'm still going to where Summer Wells, her hometown and surrounding areas, and hopefully very soon. I found out that my mom was sick and it's been really rough. Yeah, I've had a lot of depression and just, I don't know. So, you guys know if you have somebody like that important to you that gets a serious, they're seriously ill, it's just, ugh. So, anyways, I'm excited to keep going through this affidavit. I have been keeping up with the Brian laundry situation, and honestly, I don't think there's a ton to talk about. I do have a couple things. I thought that it'd be today, maybe we'll get through more of the affidavit and less of that case because, there's until we hear something new. Um, hey, Shar. So, my hair's still wet. I was late because Bentley went with to see his great grandmother, and I was trying to get him ready, and he wasn't cooperating, and yeah, but it worked out good because now I'm here by myself and I can really focus on this. Because that arrest affidavit yesterday, if you guys missed it, we did see there was a couple things we didn't hear about in court. The first thing that was really interesting to me was there were bare footprints in the bucket of his bobcat. Now, I did ask, like, I come from a family of farmers and construction workers and stuff, and I was talking to some of the people I know, and they were saying, well, it's not that abnormal to maybe stand in it, depending on what you're doing or whatever. The abnormal part is doing it barefoot, right? So then we were talking yesterday about most people don't have prints of their feet. But I was thinking on those birth certificates, and I did pin it in the comment from yesterday in the comment section. Um, we all have our feet prints. So I don't know. Pretty interesting. That was one thing that we didn't know about. The second thing was her notes app. So Suzanne had in her notes app on her iPhone, she had been keeping track. Hey Dylan, oh my gosh, I've missed you so much. So happy to see you. Aw. Suzanne had been keeping track of different times that he had been abusive to her and some other things like that. So she was doing that in the notes app, and I will pull that back up. I told Code of Many Colors if she comes in, remind me because she didn't get to see that. So yeah, and I agree. Hello, Woofy. Okay, so these are a couple little things I wanted to talk about in Gabby's case. It's different being on a computer than how I've been used to doing it. So, first thing, there's been rumor about a man who was spotted on a game cam, which is like people put him in the woods around their homes or where they hunt to see, for one, for security, but a lot of times it's for hunting purposes to see what animals are out there and stuff like that. Or if, just to keep an eye out, whether for whatever reason. So there was a man that was caught on a game cam in Florida. I do know that the police have actually said this is not him. We verified that. And also, I wanted to show you guys. So this was everywhere. And misinformation is a huge problem in this case. And disinformation, purposeful misinformation. But this is him, and if you look with the contrast changed, it looks nothing like him. We got to be more careful about what we spread around and things like that. So important. Gabby deserves her truth to be told without all the extra BS and drama and all of that stuff, which is going to happen, especially the case this huge. You guys, I'm not kidding. On Twitter, I was going through, like I showed you yesterday, kind of how I would look for updates. And there was Chinese media that was in 100% Chinese reporting on it. There was there's Spanish media in Spanish reporting on it. It is everywhere. This was posted this morning from a verified reporter who is at the search scene. So they're back out today searching for him again, um, for Brandon again, or for Brian again. I don't know why I called him that, but anyways. So yeah, pretty much that's it. Nothing too crazy happening there, which is good because I want to focus on the I saw that the editor, I don't know, I wish I had like this software to really like zoom in and change footage and slow it down and all of that. Um so the guy on the deer cam looks older. Yeah, he does. And we can go back to it for just a second. To me, he has completely different ears, sideburn, nose, I mean, facial hair, even hair. So our guy was completely bald, our guy, you know what I mean. He was completely bald, and yeah, his hair would grow in some, but I don't know if it'd grow in that much that fast. So I don't know. It seemed like he liked to keep it completely bald. Maybe he lost a lot of hair at a really young age. My brother started going bald at like 19, one of them. And yeah, he could literally be anywhere, but the fact that it's everywhere will help. I just hope they find him soon. I agree. In my opinion, I think he's tucked away somewhere in a mental institution, a private one. It's possible, I guess, but you would think that the FBI would be able to, but I don't know, maybe not. That pic has not been photoshopped. He grew, yeah. So, really quick though, I'm gonna turn this off for a second, and I was watching. Hold on, I'll read your comment. I was watching Nancy Grace last night, and her biggest question is, "How do we even know that Brian returned?" Got me really thinking. I know a lot of people have been talking about that. That's what my friend Melissa. That's one of the things that she's really talked about a lot. Because we don't know. I don't think the police saw him. I don't know if his lawyer actually saw him. I think I'm getting sick, y'all. I've been so like my chest. I just keep feeling like a little congestion, like I'm having to clear my throat. I hope not. But anyways, let me do something. I'm gonna start sharing the screen, but right before we do the affidavit, we'll do a quick check on Twitter just to make sure that we're keeping up to date with new updates. Didn't he get pulled over for speeding in Florida? Coat of many colors? I don't know. I don't know. I've not seen anything like that from like police, so I'm not sure. Dylan, they said the note was a note from police that it needed to be moved. So that it was, on state park or whatever kind of property and it needed to be moved. Okay. Catherine, I don't know. I'm thinking he may have too. A friend just texted me saying that a TikToker, oh my God, Nicole, wow. Of course they did to blow up their, wow, people are insane. Unbelievable. I don't know about that, but I guess we'll see from a park ranger. Hold on, let's do a little quick Twitter search for him. Let me get back to this quickly, because I want you to just see the screen. That way you get it as big as possible. I saw someone on Twitter that was like, um, you know, Brian, brain, laundry, wash, brainwash. It is kind of creepy though. But see, look, possibly spotted. I believe Fox has even ran this story. The police have said, no, that's not him. But I'm settling up to catch this dirtbag. I know John Walsh is being talked about a lot today. I haven't got to see that yet. If you guys saw it, let me know. I agree, the editor. You are so right. I will see what comes up on here about the TikTok. It probably will come up, but there's so many people that are talking about this. Wait, Brian Laundry take. Don't be surprised if there's. Where is this picture from? Now that actually does look like him, but I don't know where the picture's from. Oh, seem to identify financial transaction card fraud. Oh, this is from August the 28th in Georgia. If this is true, I mean, this is the thing we have to remember being on here. People will, like, just like this TikToker, they will say whatever to get the views, to get the, you know how it is. It's just disgusting, but I heard that, Dylan. That's true. I'm wondering when we'll hear anything. And Janet, yes. Social media, like being young, where everything's gonna be there forever. It's scary. Another that's the New York Post reporting on this deer cam. That's what I'm saying. Oh my lord. There's more Spanish media, like I told you guys. So I do not think anything is happening right this second, but I'm only 5 minutes into what's been tweeted. Yeah, that's pretty. I'm not going to go any more into that. That's just, we're going to get into this affidavit. I know, I can't wait either. That's pretty interesting. It does look like him. I agree, Shannon. I just, I wonder. You will think, though, he probably will be wearing a hat. Like, he'll be, I don't know. I hope he's not made it like super far away and yeah. So Code of Many Colors, since you're here, I'm on page 21. So I'm gonna go back and try to find you the list of Suzanne's notes, which it was kind of far back, I think. It was one of the first things we read, but that and the footprint, there were bare feet prints in the bucket of the bobcat. Those are the two standout things in the first 20 pages. So here's some of her notes here. Hey, 86 Gemini vibes. And Dylan, he does. He has a, not a look that really stands out. So she has threatened to jump out of car, gun, shame and guilt daily for not meeting expectations. Nothing to do with infidelity, everything to do with your character and who you are at your core. Your lack of control over me equals insecurities, equals a sick relationship. The situation with blank when I'm in accuse me of going behind your back, verbal abuse, um, money stuff. You can see there. I'll leave it for a second, and there's one more page like this. Accuse me of boyfriend and blank on May 6th. So she was reported missing on May 10th. Authorities believe that this took place on May 9th, and on May 6th, she has a note in her notes app says that he accused her of having a boyfriend. So a lot of people say that Dylan and Renee, I have to watch that. I'm really excited. I like all of those people. Like that's how I got into true crime. Nancy Grace and Ashley Banfield, and isn't that her name? I think I got it right. The next page has the rest of the list. Let's see, I think it's at the bottom. Monkey app, which is a dating app. Mental abuse while drinking, New Year's Eve, name calling, says she only needs for money, the women on Facebook, dash good for business, lies about deer, dash pants unzipped, trip to Colorado, pin on hand, stalking Sheila and me in the house without telling. That's another thing that this mentioned in the beginning. Chased me around resort and threatened, took phone, not safe alone with you, can't be trusted, oppressive, and then slams on brakes when angry. So these are the things that Suzanne, and we haven't heard about this yet until this dropped. These are things that she was writing really to keep track of it for herself, I'm assuming. So yeah. I think that this maybe should have been talked about a little bit more in the hearing. The last three on this page that you see right here, this not safe alone with you, can't be trusted. When I read that yesterday, and even now, it's like, what a statement, with what's happened. It's just, hey, Incognito Gypsy. Hey, Amber. Amber Truth Seeker and Truth Seeker. Both here. We're lucky. It's crazy, Renee, that there were people bashing her like almost instantly. And you guys, if you see that something's happened, like let me know and we'll pull it up. And until then, we're going to check out these emails. Just one second. Sorry, I have to clear my throat and like I can't breathe. I'm just so congested and I don't want y'all to have to constantly hear it. Okay. This is page 21. Stop sharing. Barry's two email accounts are blank and blank. Barry stated that Suzanne typically wakes up and has coffee. She reads her Bible and emails. She then rides her mountain bike around their neighborhood and then does other things around the house. On occasion, Suzanne rode the Methodist Trails area. Barry further explained that on Sundays she virtually attended their church, Salada Grace. The service is broadcasted on YouTube and generally lasts about 1 hour. Barry said that he typically, I'm wondering, yeah, I actually read this yesterday, didn't I? And we stopped at the end of 21? Yes. Yes. Okay. Barry stated he awoke to his alarm at 4:30 a.m. Barry explained that when he awoke, Suzanne was still asleep in the master bed. Barry stated he heard her snoring. Barry said he showered and left the house at about 5 a.m. Barry stated he last saw Suzanne wearing short white shorts and a white string-type shirt. Barry stated that he traveled on Highway 50 to Highway 285. He traveled 285 to E470 North to I-76 and then to US 36. He stated that he went directly to the Holiday Inn and checked in. Barry said he went into the room for a short period of time and rested after the drive. Barry explained he then went over to the work site. After looking at the site, Barry called Morgan and requested her to bring another person. Well, thank you, Incognito Gypsy. I do have the best mods for sure. Barry stated in response to the question if he ate that day. I swear, maybe we read this too, because we read about him talking about the granola bars. You guys, it's hard to remember everything. There's so much. Like when you're like with this case breaking with Gabby, and it's so much information all day, every day. Then this affidavit comes in. When things are going so fast, sometimes it's hard to completely retain it. Like, so I do think that we read this. Yeah, it all blends together. Okay, yes, Barry, we did read this because Barry demanded he didn't want their daughters to know about Suzanne's supposed alcohol and drug use. This on the side is not like correctly with the see, it says it's on 23. That was page 20 right there. So I don't know. It's off one or two, maybe because of the title. I don't know. The title pages. Okay. Other statements by Barry, I know we haven't read this, in this May 13th, 2020 interview include Barry stated, quote, I mean, I just know that there's nothing in my truck. There's nothing in my house. I know that for a fact unless somebody came there Sunday morning after I left. That's all. I'm just being honest with you. That they can be there for 10 weeks. They'll never find a single thing, but dot 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 unquote. Then Barry interjected Cody Cox as a suspect, that Cox allegedly threatened to kill Barry. Barry consistently throughout the interview questioned why he had not, quote, been cleared, unquote, in the investigation. Barry initially identified the Cushmans, quote, cleaning lady's daughter and boyfriend, unquote, as possible suspicious persons. Barry stated, there's a lot of quotes here, but I want to read it correctly so that people who are just using headphones still get the idea. Barry stated, quote, because if somebody went in and did something and took her and then ditched her bike to make it look like something, then I want you guys to find that evidence, unquote. However, he states multiple times, quote, there's nothing in the house, nothing in my truck, unquote. Barry stated, quote, and she would get so angry sometimes and even hateful, which is not her, unquote. Barry stated during these arguments, Suzanne has stated, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to divorce you. And she doesn't mean it. I know she doesn't mean it, but in that state of mind, unquote. When asked about working on Sunday, he stated, quote, it's Mother's Day. It's not like it's husband's day. What? Unquote. It's not all about you, Barry. Wow. Oh, Barry. I have to look at my phone to check the comments, so I'm just checking them quickly. It is almost to take hard to take him seriously. Okay. It's not husband's day. It's not like it's husband day. Like you are such a like we were talking yesterday. He very much has that narcissistic personality like in the Gabby and Brian case. Um it's not all about you. It is Mother's Day. That means you need to take care of the mother of your children. Loser. He stayed at the work site with the quote, or maybe I don't have to say it there. I think I was there until probably 6, unquote. In regards to the calls to Jean Ritter, he stated, quote, she calls me and says, hey, her car is here. And I said, well, is her bike there? And she goes, where does she keep the bike? And I said, well, I pulled out something in her car. It should be right near the car. She goes, well, there's no bike here. look here in the back. And I said, well, she's riding her bike, but I'm a little concerned because I think she said she was going to take a morning ride, unquote. In regards to inspecting the clothing, Barry stated, quote, yeah, she doesn't ride without a helmet. And she has a light blue helmet. Her favorite biking outfit is blue. I haven't been to the house to see if it's there or not, but if you guys didn't find it, then that's probably what she was wearing. Was the blue one missing? Light blue helmet, light blue outfit? She's a matcher. Light blue shirt. But was that at in her closet or did you guys find it? Unquote. Regarding the bedding, Barry stated he observed sheets in the dryer. He stated, quote, was her whole bed blank because I wasn't in her room, was the whole bedding off, unquote. And that's in reference to the daughter's bedding, but it has been redacted. Barry was asked to voluntarily submit to a polygraph examination, which he declined and said he would think about. Said he, quote, didn't want to do anything that wasn't 100% accurate, unquote. He also said they, quote, weren't admissible in court, unquote. Agent Cahill observed scratches on Barry's left upper arm. Barry stated, yeah, like, which it's supposed to be a quote, but they missed it. So, quote, yeah, like that's from a tree in where when we were hiking in the mountains, unquote. Oh my God, the way they wrote this up. Agent Cahill observed scratches on Barry's left upper arm. Barry stated, yeah, like that's from a tree in when we were hiking in the mountains. Okay, Cheryl. Hopefully you get it out. That sucks. Okay. Uh-oh. Went a little too far. I'm glad we have this to go through actually, so I'm not just sitting here like obsessively checking for updates in that other case. Um, okay. On May 21st of 2020, this is Barry's interview on May 21st. Agent Cahill and Agent Derek Graham interviewed Barry for the purpose of reviewing the victimology packets of Suzanne that were prepared by the Behavioral Analyst Unit of the FBI. The interview was audio recorded. The following quotes were selected by Special Agent Grusing for this affidavit. The nose is running. Hold on one second. Okay, much better. Um, so the following quotes were from this interview that Special Agent Grusing thought would be good for an affidavit. Okay, Barry stated, quote, I just wish that you knew how amazing she was, unquote. Referring to Suzanne in past tense. This is May 21st. So May 10th to the 21st, 11 days. They do say that it's completely normal to reference them in the past tense after a period of time. So, like immediately, day one, two, no, of course, that's odd. But once it's been a few weeks, so this is pretty close on that line. I don't know. Then that's just what I've heard from watching like professionals that know about this stuff. Hey, Chitty Chatty Meg. You're probably right, Chitty Chatty. Okay. Here's the next one. Per Barry, Suzanne began to abuse antidepressants and alcohol. Antidepressants? That is what he was of the drugs, the pills? Okay. Sorry. Suzanne began to abuse antidepressants and alcohol to get away from the stress and anxiety of dealing with chemo and cancer. He said, Quote, "It's the only thing we argued about," unquote. And he cited text arguments. He added, quote, when she was in that mind, quote, "it wasn't her." When she was in that mind, I said, quote, the comma, "it wasn't her," unquote. That is so frustrating. She's been through cancer. Maybe she's stressed. Maybe she's worried. Maybe she's anxious about, losing her life. Loser. Ooh, I get so I'm sorry, y'all. They say, like, you shouldn't be emotionally invested. Well, I don't know. That's just never gonna happen with me. I'm just, like, too emotional of a human anyways, and it's just so hard not to get mad over this stupid stuff. Like, you're gonna say she's on all drugged up and drunk all the time over antidepressants when she has battled cancer twice and she's in an unhappy marriage? Like, what a jerk. Okay. Barry said that it was Suzanne, not him, who wanted to move from Indiana. Hey, Lucy Pearl Tops. Never heard of anybody I know you can get high on like nerve pills and sleeping pills and stuff like that, but antidepressants, they take like 6 weeks to get in your system usually. It's just odd. And it's just stupid. Yeah, is your eye okay? Good. I'm glad you're back. He stated, quote, "We, as in men, need sex. That's all we need and we'll be good," unquote. Well, we, as in women, shouldn't be giving that to people who don't respect us. Okay, sorry. I'll take it down a notch. I'm sorry. Okay. Barry discussed the pills Suzanne took and how he begged her to stop taking them. He added that she got mean and angry. Oh, thank you, Sovereign Mind. Barry stated that Suzanne had friends she kept from him, evidenced by her attempting to text someone and her saying it was none of his business, that it was, quote, "private," unquote. Barry said that Suzanne gave her passcodes to him and he could access her phone, but it was very suspicious why she did not tell him about some of her communications. Barry said that he gave Suzanne $300 to $400 per week for spending. He said she never went to an ATM. I'm Barry was the ATM. Oh my God. Oh, hey, Stephanie. Oh, Woofy. Oh my. Like he wouldn't even let her have a bank card, I'm sure, with her own access to their money. He seems like that type of guy, totally. I'm the ATM. Barry is the ATM. Like, whatever. Regarding Barry leaving Suzanne alone on Mother's Day when she disappeared, he replied that his girls were supposed to come home, quote, "and I didn't feel bad because I thought they were going to be there around lunchtime," unquote. Barry stated that Suzanne's alcohol consumption increased after May 6th when the girls left town and she did not have to hide the alcohol from them. Yeah, and on May 6th, Barry, remember she sent you a message that she wanted things to end. You deleted it, but you accidentally took a screenshot. We found that out yesterday too, by the way, you guys. The reason that the police found the message on May 6th where she tells him she wants a divorce is because Barry accidentally screenshot it as he was reading it and didn't delete that. Gypsy Lou, yeah, he did look like he had aged a lot. Okay, so Barry said on Friday, quote, "I think we jumped in her car and went to Moonlight Pizza, got a pizza and a salad," unquote. He said that they ate the pizza in the car and brought it home to eat. Quote, "Maybe ate some of the pizza on the way home and ate the salad," unquote. Barry stated that Saturday, May 9th, on Saturday morning, he got up early, probably had to put a few tools in my truck. I think that was supposed to be a quote. That probably had to put a few tools in my truck. Suzanne thanked him for the breakfast and was, quote, perfectly normal, unquote, giving him a kiss goodbye and, quote, everything was great, unquote. He told her that he would be home soon and they, quote, could go bike riding or hiking or something, unquote. Barry added that it was a, quote, perfectly normal day, unquote, and, quote, she was in a perfectly good mood, unquote. When asked if anything out of the ordinary happened, Barry said, no, no, it was a perfect day, Saturday, unquote, which, sorry about that. It's hard to keep up with the quotes. When agents asked Barry if Suzanne had been drinking, he said that he did not pay much attention because he, quote, wanted to have a good night with her, unquote. Ah, I lost everything. Listen, this is normal. I was married to someone with money. I had no access to it. My husband was the ATM. It's about control. Wow. Hey, Will. Her complaint is that Barry accused her of having a boyfriend. She did have a boyfriend. That is true. Will, there actually is some stuff in this affidavit that was not talked about in the hearing. And if you haven't seen it, there's only a couple things. There was notes that she was keeping in her phone about, being scared of him and being he controlling and different things he was doing to her. And then there was bare feet prints in the bucket of his bobcat. Um, and I do know, and I've talked to some people who use them all the time, and they said that, standing in one is not that unheard of. It does happen. Because yesterday I was like, surely no one would be standing in that. But it does happen, but not barefoot, you know? So, hey, Marianne. And the only other thing was, yeah, the reason they knew that, she sent him a message that she wanted a divorce was because he accidentally screenshot the message before he deleted it. So, sober in mind, Barry, his wife went missing on Mother's Day of 2020. Her name was Suzanne Morphew, and she's never been found still to this day. But he's been arrested for her murder, and he was actually just let out on bail. He got out yesterday. And they were holding the arrest affidavit for months because he was arrested in May, on like May 9th or some around the same, almost to the date of when she went missing. And they just released this affidavit yesterday. So you want me to check and see if there's anything happening or keep reading? You guys put it in the chat and I'll do whatever you think. Any news with the search, or keep reading in this affidavit for a few more minutes and then we'll check? Truth seeker, you know what? You're absolutely right. I was thinking today, age doesn't make you mature. Being grown, regardless of your age, if you're older, doesn't make you more mature, more wise. Really, what builds us into those people is the bad things that have happened to us. And it sucks to go through, but when you've really been through hell, like hell, where you just either maybe you had mental health and depression and you didn't want to live anymore, or addiction, or abuse, or whatever, when you've had these really bad experiences, that builds you into a better person. So, okay, nothing new, then we're going to keep going. Got y'all. Yeah, Gemini vibes. Him saying the comment about why would I stay, it wasn't husband's day, it was Mother's Day in that interview. That just ticked me off. Like, it's not all about you, Barry. It's just not. And sometimes and I've known people who are older than me by, like, 10 years, but they've had a super easy life. They've not, been in any abusive relationships, no mental health issues. No one around them has had, like, you know, deaths and, any kind of disasters or in that way, and they're just so clueless about certain things. That's because when you've really been through, been to rock bottom, it makes you a kinder, more wise person, more understanding, compassionate, caring. Every bad thing that happened to me made me how I am today. And I hope and pray that, there's no more crazy, horrible, awful things that happen, but when they do, that's the one good thing out of it. It really makes us. But anyways, okay. These are still quotes from his interview on May 21st that Special Agent Grusing thought were important to put in the affidavit. So Barry said that they grilled steaks and did not leave the house after he got home that day. He said that he and Suzanne laid out on the patio in the sun. Barry said that she made soup for lunch. He left his phone alone because he wanted, quote, a nice evening with my wife, unquote. Suzanne talked to Barry that evening about purchasing a house in town for $800,000. He said that Suzanne was not on her phone that night that he knew of. Yeah, because there's no record of her being on her phone that night, and he knows that, except for those Facebook things. But he wasn't talking with her best friend. She wasn't talking with her best friend, her boyfriend, any of that. When agents asked Barry if he and Suzanne went to bed together, he replied, quote, I'm pretty sure we do, unquote. And later, quote, I'm pretty sure we went to sleep together that night, unquote. Suzanne did not leave the house after they had sex and went to sleep. And we know that Suzanne says that they rarely have sex. When asked by agents specifically if Barry used his phone to set his alarm for 4:30 a.m. on Sunday, he stated that he, quote, just woke up on my own without an alarm, unquote. But now we know based on the telematics of his truck, remember you guys, at 4 a.m., he's turning right instead of turning left to go where he's saying that he went. Thank you, Janet, so much. I so appreciate that. You guys are the best. Like, the people in this chat are just I love you all. You're the best. Okay. CBI agents asked Barry why he answered sex as the number one reason why someone might be motivated to cause Suzanne to disappear on the BAU questionnaire. He answered, quote, because my wife is beautiful, unquote. He added, quote, and that's my nightmare right now. Like if somebody's got her and sexually abusing her right now as we speak, unquote. Okay. Uh-oh. Incognito or broken justice, can you undo that? You accidentally timed out incognito gypsy, and I don't know how to. Hold on. It's for a lot of seconds. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to undo that. I love you, Meg. All of you. Well, I know I already said that, but oh, this sucks though. Um, put user in timeout. There's not a way to reverse that. So just hang in there. I'm sorry. It should be about 5 minutes. I'm so, so sorry. Um, okay. Yeah, just be careful when you're got the wrench. If you're doing something, press that X at the top of the chat and you're just listening and X out. That way you don't accidentally press anybody and you know. Yeah, that is strange, Shannon. Um, That whole quote is just odd. But agents told Barry that workers who came to his hotel room following his May 10th departure commented that the room smelled like chlorine. He replied that he had no idea why, and maybe the hotel staff used it to clean because of COVID. No, wait. Oh, your ex. Sorry, guys. I was reading something wrong. Um, Agents agents also told Barry that documents were left in the room and asked him if he took any documents into the room. He replied, quote, "Not to my knowledge. There was somebody in the room after me. It could have been his," unquote. And we know that those were found in the trash, right? And I'm wondering if they put those in the affidavit, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. When agents asked Barry why he did not pick up Morgan Gentile as agreed on Monday for the ride to Broomfield, he stated, quote, "I didn't want her to ride with me because she smokes. And I told her I wanted her to drive her car and she was just going to follow me." So those are three separate quotes you guys can see. On May 28th, this is an interview of his from May 28th. Agent Cahill and Derek Graham interviewed him and they recorded it. I cannot wait until we get these recordings, you guys. When all of this, yeah, when all of this is done, we'll see. Hey, Jessica Lynn. Yeah, it's okay. It's not a big deal. She probably hears it, and yeah, it's totally understandable. Accidents happen. But like I said, and the reason I know because I've done this when I'm modding for other people and doing other stuff. From now on, I always hit that X at the top of the chat so I don't accidentally hit anything. So on May 28th, Barry was asked about the tranquilizer darts in his house. He stated that the darts' purpose was to tranquilize bucks to sell them. He said the bucks could then be placed in a trailer that has cubicles. The tranquilizer is a sedative narcotic, and he only did this tranking and selling of bucks back in Indiana. Barry said he has not used the tranquilizer or darts in Colorado. That is really interesting. And hmm, with the thing found in the dryer for him saying he hasn't used them in Colorado, that's crazy. And also, I'm wondering, why are you tranquilizing bucks to sell them? Like, that is weird. I guess farming them for them to grow bigger horns, that would have to be it because he's hunting for like trophy. So I guess that would make sense. Okay. Then on June 2nd, he had an interview with Special Agent Grusing. He met with Barry at a house near his residence to conduct an interview regarding the victimology or pattern of life of Suzanne. This interview was audio recorded. Barry said Suzanne might leave him, but would never leave her daughters. Barry also agreed that an animal attack was unlikely and that an accident was unlikely based upon the positioning of the bicycle and helmet. Oh, thank you, Truth Seeker. Thank you so much. It's really sweet. And I love you too. And I appreciate that. Where I'm doing the screen share, I can't put it up on the screen, but because I'm watching from my phone for comments. I love to put it up there just because I appreciate you guys so much. So just explaining why, you know. Um, he said he sells them to hunters that sell hunting trips to rich people. Wow. Okay. I believe that, but that's just crazy to me. Um, Thank you guys for subscribing to Incognito Gypsy. I do know because yes, you're here. Yay. I'm so sorry. Um I do know that she really cares very deeply about her video. She tries very hard and she is passionate and yeah, definitely subscribe. Hi the Grim Truther. Barry Morphew being a trophy hunter is another clue into who he is. Absolutely. 5 or 7K. Wow. He has a few more subscribers. Awesome. Okay. So in that same interview, this is about her pattern of life. Barry talked about Suzanne abusing alcohol and drugs, saying the last time Suzanne was doing well was, quote, the first summer we were here, unquote, specifying that was the summer of 2018. Drugs as in antidepressants, you guys. Unless we see something else, that's what we've learned so far. Um, Barry told Special Agent Grusing that he thought Suzanne was abducted by someone. Special Agent Grusing explained that the last similar violent act that occurred in the Salada area happened in 1980. Barry was informed of the time of day Suzanne was riding, the low traffic area, her minimal exposure in the community, and other low risk factors and stabilizers in her life. Special Agent Grusing told Barry this looked like, quote, an intimate partner homicide, unquote, and Barry did not object. Special Agent Grusing noted Barry listed sex as the top motivation someone might have for her disappearance because of how attractive she was. Special Agent Grusing asked Barry why he only wrote convict for his response on, or convict for his response on what should happen to the person responsible for Suzanne's disappearance. He replied, quote, it should be convicted and held responsible. I mean, that's not what I wanted to write, but I mean, inside me, I feel like I would like to physically harm them if they did this to my wife. But, end quote. Hey, Allison. When Barry was asked of his last image of Suzanne, he initially replied that he did not see her on the morning of May 10th or remember a last image. Grusing walked Barry through his prior statements of seeing Suzanne and describing her clothing. Barry was asked multiple times what his last image of her was, and he did not answer the question. Finally, to elicit some response, Special Agent Grusing asked if he even remembered seeing a lump of covers in his bed before he left for Broomfield. Barry replied that he saw, quote, probably just a lump there. Detail is remember her breathing, unquote. Oh my God. Look at the quote. Hey, Quinn, thank you. You guys are the best. The chat, you guys make it everything. Without you, I would be nothing. I'd just be sitting here doing this by myself. And I'm really glad that, like I said earlier, that we have this to go through today because, like, the last 3 or 4 days, I've been like obsessively checking for updates in the Gabby case. And yeah, at least now I have something that's kind of interesting to me, and I can check for updates, later or as we go. If you guys see something, we'll pull it up and check it out. So we're here right now. Regarding May 8th, Barry stated, quote, but in the afternoon, the text fight was like it never happened. She texted me back and it was just like, hey, what time are you coming home? Hey, this or that. Just pick this up or pick that up, unquote. Regarding the afternoon of Saturday, May 9th, Barry said when he arrived home, Suzanne had vegetable soup waiting for them and they quote, just kind of set out in the sun, unquote. They set out in the sun, talked, and had a good day and decided they were going to grill steaks out that evening. He said she was, quote, perfectly fine because there was no alcohol in her, unquote. But if you remember, guys, in the hearing, what does he say about her eyes? That she has drunk eyes in that picture, that last photo of Suzanne. Oh, thank you, Sovereign Mind. You guys are the best. And my mods work hard, and I appreciate you guys so, so much. I really do. I hope that you guys understand how much I mean that. It means everything to me. Taking your time to help me, and you absolutely don't have to do that. And yeah. And you guys do a really great job too, and sharing everybody else's channels and stuff like Allison. Maybe we can get hers in here. I love that. I want to share other channels. I want to, like I told you guys yesterday, like John Crimes, asked for an interview and he said yes. And I was so surprised. And he was like, well, when I was smaller, like I wish that someone would kind of help me. And so I decided to be the change I wanted to see in the world. And I talked about this actually when they had Barry's court. And that's what we have to do. It's a good thing to be supportive of each other. Well, thank you, Nikki Rex. So, anyways, where are we at right here? Regarding Suzanne's activities on Saturday night, Barry stated, quote, she took the daughter's sheets off and washed them Saturday evening, unquote. That is where the needle like sheath was, which is interesting, which is intriguing, making me wonder why. Um, Barry was asked if other people had passwords to get into the phones and laptops of Suzanne. He replied that Suzanne told him what her last password was. So then this is Barry's video from June 3rd. CBI agents Cahill and Graham interviewed Barry at his residence. The interview was audio recorded. The following quotes are selected for this affidavit. Regarding Friday morning, May 8th, Barry stated, we had our text argument. I don't even remember what it was about. She was in one of her moods. When questioned about their activities Friday evening, Barry responded, they probably watch TV, and Suzanne is usually on her computer. She's typically on the computer, maybe doing a class online. She always looks for clothes online, unquote. He added that she did not apologize for the text like nothing ever happened. So one sec, let's compare. Just want to see something. Dang, it's way far back there. Okay, never mind. Well, I'll have to go back later and do it. I was curious because I know his story has changed multiple times. Oh, I seen it right there. Regarding Friday, May 8th, he stated in the afternoon the text fight, and then it was nothing. And then May 9th, he says she had the vegetable soup. They sat out in the sun, talked, had a good day, decided they were going to grill steaks. She was perfectly fine because there was no alcohol in her. Okay, now we have regarding May 9th. Morning. Barry stated he did not set alarm or recall what time he got up. He made himself and Suzanne breakfast, set it next to her in bed. He said, quote, I think I made bacon and eggs and toast, unquote. Regarding Saturday, Barry stated that he got home and Suzanne had a bowl of soup ready for him. They talked about hiking and biking and spent the day together and sat outside in the sun and talked for an hour. Barry stated, quote, I honestly don't recall what we did after that, but I think we hiked here in the subdivision. Yes, we did hike. We hiked to Fuse's that night, unquote. Then twice, quote, I'm pretty sure that's the night we hiked Fuse's, unquote. He said that twice. Barry stated, quote, I know we sat down at the lake for a while. I'd say we were gone for an hour and a half, maybe. He added, it was actually a good day. She didn't drink at all. It was a normal, nice afternoon, unquote. He said they got back to the house around 3 or 4. This is a quote, probably around 3 or 4. Talked about the dinner, and she said she was going to make some potatoes, unquote. He said, quote, would marinate the steaks. I'm probably in the garage. This is making me hungry, y'all, but I usually tinker around here, killing time, unquote. He added that Suzanne was probably doing sheets, adding that the daughter's bed was a free for all while he was in the garage tinkering. Barry said, quote, just had a wonderful evening and she was perfectly fine because there was no alcohol in her, unquote. He again said he asked her not to drink that night. How many times is he going to mention her, like the drinking? He constantly cuts her down in little ways like that, in my opinion, from what I've noticed. Barry stated that after dinner, Susan did the dishes and he went back into the garage, fixing the pin on The Bobcat. Barry stated, I think I recall seeing 4:15ish and when I get up and knowing that, hey, if I leave at 5, I'll get there at 8. That was a quote. He added, quote, I probably got up, took a shower, got my clothes on, unquote. Barry added that Suzanne was naked the last time he saw her, so he did not know what she was wearing. So now the last time you see her, she's naked, before she's a lump, maybe in PJs. Okay. Barry stated that he went into the dryer looking for socks and saw the daughter's sheets, and he dug through some of Suzanne's clothes in the dryer, and a pair of her shorts were in there. Regarding Sunday morning, Barry stated, quote, I think was getting hungry. I think went to a McDonald's that was closed, and I think when I was there, I think I decided against McDonald's, but I never eat there, and because of COVID, so yeah, I think I went around to the corner to a gas station and got a granola bar. Okay, I'm gonna pause and check the chat because I really like to chat with you guys too while we're. They are soon to announce Gabby's cause of death. Okay, well, let's take a little break and go look for that. 35 minutes of autopsy. Okay, let me know and we'll go to it. Is that at 5 Eastern? I'll pull it up for us to watch. Okay, so here is his interview from June 17th. On June 17th of 2020, CBI agents Cahill and Derek Graham interviewed Barry. This interview was also audio recorded. All of these are, which is really great. We'll have something to kind of hear for ourselves. Um, when questioned of anything recently that, quote, might have been a first, unquote, for Suzanne, Barry responded that she started taking THC, CBD edibles, and oils about a month before, quote, before she left, unquote. Barry reported that she was getting it from, quote, a guy in Westcliff, unquote, named Tim, and that Barry could provide Tim's contact. Near the end of the interview, Barry provided Tim's phone number. Barry separately said that Suzanne was buying drugs, quote, off the street, unquote, and cited that the person from whom she was buying drugs is a viable suspect for her disappearance. That was me, like, facepalm completely. Are you kidding me? For one, you're talking about her like she's doing drugs, constantly calling her, taking drugs. She's doing drugs, buying drugs off the street. She's always drunk and drugged up. She's taking antidepressants and CBD and THC edibles and oils. Stop. That is frustrating. I don't know what Barry would do if he would have seen somebody who's really in a far out in addiction using and stuff. Yeah, it's legal in Colorado and she had cancer. Yeah, is it a press conference, you guys? We'll wait for her to come back and let us know. Oh my gosh, I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so here's an interview from June 25th. So let's put this into perspective. This is a month and 2 weeks after she went missing. So on June 25th of 2020, CBI agents Cahill and Derek Graham interviewed Barry. The interview was audio recorded. Barry said that Suzanne's family, the Mormons, were involved in marijuana and maybe they were responsible for her disappearance. He referred to Suzanne's sister Melinda as being, quote, wicked, unquote, and her brother David as being, quote, smart enough to do something like this. He's brilliant, unquote. After suggesting that maybe Suzanne's siblings should be considered as alternate suspects, he stated, quote, sometimes when people are guilty, they point the finger because of their guilt, unquote. Really? The irony in that. After he's saying that her brother and sister should be alternate suspects, he says, quote, sometimes when people are guilty, they point the finger because of their guilt, unquote. You guys. Sober in mind, a lot of times that's the way it is. I've seen that. I've seen people who, use drugs, talking down to someone else over their drug use. Unbelievable. And how he didn't even notice what he was doing there, right? Yeah, everyone's living wrong but Barry. You're pointing the finger at her siblings who don't live there, okay? And then you're saying, the guilty person is probably they point the finger. Sometimes when you're guilty, you point the finger because of your guilt. And not only that, he says, whoever is, quote, smart enough to do something like this, he's brilliant. So whoever made Suzanne disappear is brilliant? Bro, listen to yourself. Take a look in the mirror. Like, do you have any, like, some people just don't have any self awareness at all. And I hope to God I'm never like that because that is just, I have secondhand embarrassment over it. I'll let you know as soon as it comes up. There's only been a tweet with announcement. Keep reading. I'll let you know and I have confirmation. Awesome. Thank you, Truth Seeker, so much. Thank you for the help. Okay. Yes, he really does sober in mind. Barry thought that okay. Barry thought that Suzanne and Kurt Sigler might have been having an affair. Barry said that he never looked at Suzanne's phone because he did not want to lose her trust, but that she looked at his phone, quote, all the time, unquote. Barry said that Suzanne had the body of a 30-year-old and that, quote, they give us sex. That's all we ever want or need, unquote. Oh my God. You just sound like such a meathead freaking pig. Barry said, quote, I guarantee you that my tech from my truck and my phone will exact match my interviews because I know for a fact what I've done, unquote. And it exactly did not match what he said, literally at all. Barry provided the phone number for, quote, Tim from Westcliff, unquote, who might be involved in Suzanne's disappearance. Oh, thank you, Wolfie. You're the bestest. So here's his interview from July 8th. On July 8th of 2020, CBI agents Cahill and Grimm interviewed Barry. It is audio recorded. Regarding the worst text Barry deleted, he said, quote, if I remember right, it was Friday morning. I was working and she was in one of her moods, which would be May 8th, and that is not the text that, we've discussed. Barry stated regarding Sunday, quote, I went in, got the hotel room, relaxed for a little bit, went to the job site and seen it, then added, pulled several blocks off and left it, unquote. No, you didn't. Because you weren't allowed to work on Sunday in Broomfield. Barry stated, quote, and that's McDonald's is the only place I remember going. I did nothing else besides went to the job site and went to the hotel, unquote. Regarding Saturday, Barry, except for you stopped at like 5 different dumpsters, right? Regarding Saturday, Barry stated, quote, we sat out in the sun. She was sunning and wanted me to set out with her. I know we went to Fooz's, and I can't remember exactly if it was Saturday, but I'm thinking it was Saturday. We took a walk up around Fooz's and come back, and she read. I tinkered around outside and did things outside until supper and grilled steaks, unquote. They are making me really want some steaks. Wolfie, you are so behind. Hold on. I'm gonna have to text her. I do that sometimes, and other people do too. Okay. Mm, Barry stated, we read that. Okay, regarding Saturday. Then we have Barry stated, if I went to DSI, it wasn't in the afternoon. And that was a quote, by the way, quote, I could have ran back to crib and had him put the blade on, unquote. Here's another quote. I know I made steaks on the grill. That's one thing I know I did, unquote. And then the last one on this page, Quote, we had a lot of good time together that week. Regarding the argument Friday morning, he said, quote, to be honest with you, I can't even remember what it was about. Quote, the alcohol got worse and worse and worse those last 3 months, unquote. And, quote, she was drinking heavy every single day, unquote. Which, I mean, I'm sure that's not easy, it's not pleasant to be around somebody wasted all the time, but I like to keep an open mind, and I'm open to hear you guys on both sides. If you are in support of Barry, I'll hear you out totally and be respectful. You're welcome. We can have conversation, but it's hard to be like that when it's just so blatantly obvious what is happening here. And I think, and you've been with, like, had relationships with someone in that's similar in these ways, like, you can just read it from a mile away, you guys, and it's hard for me to not get emotional, and I'm sorry about that. Like, I know I get angry and I cry and I do all this stuff. I cry all the time on y'all, and and then I'm going off on somebody the next minute, so just overlook me with that. I'm trying. Hello, Melissa. That's okay, Wolfie, don't feel dumb. Everybody does that all the time. Okay. So then we have so after he puts her down once again about her drinking, um, he doesn't remember any specifics about a long phone call they had on May 8th. He can't remember them talking on the phone. Then he stated, quote, that weekend nothing out of the ordinary happened. It seemed normal and perfect, unquote. He stated that with the girls gone, quote, her phone would have been on all night Saturday, unquote. Then he stated, quote, I think there was some trash in my truck, adding wrappers, bottles, and junk that accumulated over the work week. He said that he threw the trash in a garbage can and went to the gas station and, quote, got a granola bar, unquote. Barry stated, quote, I'm pretty sure when Jean, called, I was right there at the wall, unquote, adding that he loaded up his tools, took them directly to the hotel, told the lady working in the hotel lobby that he had an emergency, and asked if he could leave the tools in the lobby. When asked if he threw anything away at the hotel, he replied, quote, not that I recall. I mean, I could have, but not that I recall, unquote. When asked to be specific, he replied, not that I recall. That was a quote. Barry asked twice if he took anything was asked twice if he took anything into the hotel room besides his backpack, and he replied that he did not. We do know he was throwing stuff away in the dumpsters at the hotel, and he also had quite a lot of stuff in his hands on the security cameras, a jacket, a tree planter, and several things like that. That's true, sober in mind. Um, and Zoid, I do too. Robin, he has really ticked me off reading these quotes. He's so rude, constantly putting her down, saying that she's on alcohol and drugs and all of this when she's on antidepressants. Sure, she may be drinking and stuff, but she's on antidepressants, and it just doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't like it. Barry stated, quote, I don't know, when asked by CBI when was the last time Suzanne talked about leaving him. When asked if it was recent, he replied, quote, no, I don't ever recall her saying that she's going to leave me, unquote. Oh my God. Not knowing that he accidentally screenshot her message and forgot to delete it. Agents asked Barry if Suzanne ever told him that she was, quote, done, unquote, and Barry stated, quote, she's never said that. She loves her family too much. He said, quote, we grilled a steak, split it, unquote. We had two different plates that night. And when we get at the end of this page, I'll pull up what's happening with Brian Laundrie and we'll hear about the autopsy and stuff and check Twitter quickly while waiting on it. So is that going to be a press conference? Truth Seeker, have you found anything? Oh, sure. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. with me to go through it. And Robin, have a good day at work. Okay. So the statement was refuted by Agent Graham, who explained that it appeared only one plate was recovered from among the items in the dishwasher. I had not heard about this yet. Barry replied that he must have hand washed his own plate. He stated, quote, because she started drinking, unquote, in response to the statement by CBI that he and Suzanne's behavior got worse the minute the girls left on the trip. And this is a quote, and she was drinking the whole time, unquote. He stated after multiple assertions that he did not recall what junk he threw away, that he might have thrown away an old pair of boots that had been I do think he had boots in his hands. On that security footage I was just talking about that had been in the back of his truck. After CBI told him multiple times that he threw away more than boots, he stated, quote, if there's clothes in my truck, there was probably old clothes I threw away, unquote. Barry was told by CBI that he showered at the house before leaving and showered at the hotel when he arrived. He replied, quote, showers relax me, unquote. Barry stated, quote, I change shirts all the time, unquote, when told by CBI that he changed shirts twice after getting the hotel. When asked why, he stated, I don't even recall changing shirts that day. When confronted by CBI agents that the video footage from the hotel contradicted his statements that he was at the wall on the job site when Gene Ritter called, he did not refute the evidence. The property of 19057 Puma Path was searched following this interview pursuant to the issuance of a search warrant for the remains of Suzanne. Results were negative. Oh my gosh, you guys. It is like he hated her. Wow. Unbelievable, you guys. Okay, now we're going to find this stuff. I can't see your comments for just a second. It's raining here pretty good. One second, you guys. I'm just looking for something on my phone. Ugh. Okay, now I'm back to y'all. Oops, we're on the latest. Autopsy confirms. Oh, hold up. Let's do it. Gabby Petito. It said it will only be identification on Gabby today. Oh, okay. Well, I changed my title so that okay. Gabby Petito family releases statement. Wyoming autopsy results pending. Let's see what the statement says. I don't know if this is old, new, what. NBC tweeted it like 20 seconds ago. So I've been in here with you guys. I haven't been obsessively checking. I want to personally thank the press and news media for giving the Petito and Smith family time to grieve. The lawyer, Richard Stafford, said, "We will be making a statement when Gabby is home. I will contact you to arrange time and location."
What's going on? How come you're crying?
I'm just trying to be. Just been fighting this morning. Some personal issues.
It was a long day. We were camping yesterday, and camping got supplies and stuff. I'm sorry I hit the bump there.
I was distracting him from driving. I'm sorry.
Okay. I want you guys both to be
Aww.
tonight away from each other. Relax.
She just looks like she wants to say something so bad right there.
Okay.
We kind of know all of this and we can come back or whatever you guys would like to look at, but I do want to make sure we're not missing anything that's happening right now. Waiting on toxicology results. There's Joseph Scott Morgan. I love him. He does a lot with Nancy Grace. And he's taught I've listened to him a lot when it comes to the Vallow Daybell case. Should be released soon, according to CBS 12. We just read the family's statement. Results pending, so we've got that. Jeez Louise. The family will make a statement when Gabby is home. What a beautiful, sweet young girl. So sad. So you push her and she hits you. No mention of the slap. Just another man like that has so many similarities to Barry Morphew. I would probably not notice if I wasn't like going back and forth between these two cases these last 2 days, and probably more because we are not going to get done today. Sober in mind, no, I live in West Virginia. There has been talk about him hiding on the Appalachian Trail because he knows that area really well, and that was interesting to me. Let's see what this is really quickly.
Changed from person of interest to suspect at that point.
In the minds of the police, he is a suspect. They're just not telling me and you that. As you know, with your legal expertise, that once you are named a suspect, a whole host of constitutional protections surround you. Right now, that autopsy is going down. And this is what disturbs me. You got just a couple of choices, Harvey. One, he left her as she was running behind the van going, "Don't leave me out here." There's that choice, which is horrible. There's death by natural causes. Did she fall down a ravine, some accident in which she died, or was she murdered? Those are the only three choices. In any event, he left her there and drove about 2,000 miles, plenty of time to think about it.
Yes.
It's cold. There's intense heat. There is a lot of rain. There's a lot of moisture. There is animal activity, which is a nice way of saying the animals could have torn her apart. So I don't know if they're going to get a COD. I don't know if they're going to be able to determine, was she strangled? Is her skin intact? I think it was, though, Harvey, because I believe they immediately identified those tattoos on her, which is a sign that we may be able to get a cause of death.
Now, you guys, I do know this is kind of gruesome and stuff, but I do know that where she was at, it was in the 70s during the day. This is what I've heard. I have not double checked it myself, and I should before, but this is just like regular talk between us. They say it gets really cold there at night. So, it makes you think that it could preserve her at least somewhat. Oh, that's cool, Lorianne. That's not too far from me. Now, wait, okay, I forgot. I took it off the screen. Let's go back to this. Then we're gonna go to FWFLA just to get a peek in at this search and see if there is something happening with the, wow, 1 million views. There's a lot of people watching this. If there's something happening with autopsy results, we will see something here. And I'm going to check for the Fox station, which I really like too.
There's no doubt you could have. They're police officers. They 100% could have. We don't. Did he say they're going to be open to some criticism about this if Brian somehow, I don't want to use the phrase get away because, again, he's still just a person of interest. They want to talk to him. They want to ask him what happened. But the vice is closing on this case in that the autopsy is going to be conducted today. I believe I read somewhere in that particular area it takes, I'm not going to say, I'll look it up, but I thought it was 2 to 3 weeks to get results. But they might have something preliminarily. But the point is, if it's foul play, we don't know it's foul play. Everybody's assuming it's foul play. We don't know it's foul play. If it is
not a homicide investigation, we have remains matching
right.
Gabby's description found in Northwest
in a
Florida.
secluded area where people go missing. But yeah, so I get what he's saying, but on that particular day, and I'll find the exact part of the statute.
Yeah, but why would I get what they're saying? Totally get what they're saying, right? But here's my thing. I saw on Jays for Justice, he was 900 yards. She was 900 yards from where the van was spotted. Okay, that's 9 football fields. That is not that far. If she was left there and alive, you'd think she would go a little further than that to try to get some help or something like that. And we do know that people were driving down the road. Good morning, the little things. So it just doesn't make sense that he just left her there alive, because you would think she would have made it further than that. Then, and I see they're not able to say it was a homicide until this autopsy, the results are released. I wonder if it proves that it was homicide, will they put a warrant out for his arrest? He was the last one with her. They were last seen 900 yards, 9 football fields away from where her body was found. Will that be enough for a warrant for arrest? You would think so, considering he came home in her van, wouldn't talk to police, and is now missing, which I don't consider him missing, but technically he's missing by choice. Suicide, and he just doesn't want to tell anyone. Slim chance, but it's a possibility. Now that's a possibility, but at this point, you would think, like, why not get himself out of the trouble then? Because it's not looking too good. And his family is being harassed already. I mean, to do this, like the position he put his parents in and stuff. And I know that, they've taken some heat, and some of it they probably deserve, right? But they are also victims in this, that to an extent. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, they deserve some of the heat. Okay. But also, they are probably going to be harassed for a long time, very badly. You guys seen those reporters up basically on their porch. And the whole reason why they're going through that and the rest of their lives will probably be like that is because of what the position he has put them in. 300 yards from the van. Okay, Ashik. All I heard was I heard her say 3 football fields, but she said 900 yards. So I just assumed that she just got like we make mistakes all the time. We're live. So I just assumed that she got it wrong. With how many yards are in a football field. Yeah, I know, you guys. And don't get me wrong. His parents have not done what they should have done at all. Parents and the police dropped the bomb majorly. 900 feet. Okay. 300 yards. Three football fields. Wow, that's so much. It's even closer. No, I'm glad you did, Char. I didn't even see it, though. Let's see. But I'm glad you did. I want you to. If I get something wrong, you guys gotta tell me. Gray Hughes measured it today and quoted 300 yards. Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'm just saying, the parents didn't commit that, they didn't make her go missing. And this will change their lives forever. They should have handled it differently, but also he should have more respect for his family than to go there and to hide in their house. Now they can't even go home. We don't know what the police know though, or how much um what they know that like maybe the parents knew more than we think, or we don't know. So really we can't judge too much until and I totally understand some of the backlash and stuff here. I'm gonna play this for a minute. I did
14.
find
To
another
get into a
live.
vehicle, I have to go to a judge. I have to say, this is why I want to get in the vehicle. I have to tell the judge what I know. So the FBI, same thing. They had to have a reason to go into the house.
Oh, sorry.
A reason to go into the house. They don't just get to go in the house. Could they have done it sooner? Let's do the timeline. Monday, the Petito, Mrs. Schmidt comes forward, pleads with the Laundries to come forward and tell everybody what we know. We take this back to July, and everything. But let's face it, there's actually a window about August.
Socialist spending spree. That's why they opposed my bill originally. We had to pass the $5 trillion spending framework. This is absolute insanity. I'm telling you as someone.
So, excuse me. Right now, they're having a press conference for political stuff. But to the right of the screen, we see the search for Brian Laundrie in Florida, and then down on the bottom, awaiting Gabby Petito autopsy results. I've got to know what's going on. It is so frustrating. That's why I'm glad we have that affidavit. Broken dishes? I think so too. Same with like Letitia Stout and her daughter. I mean, I feel sorry for Harley, but also I think technically she's accessory after the fact. Y'all don't take what I said too far. I'm not saying that they're not wrong. They are. All I'm saying is that Brian is the only person who has mattered this entire time to Brian. He's saving himself, and he doesn't care about the person he's supposed to love and his parents or anybody. It's not right. Okay, let's do Gabby Petito autopsy and see who's live. I'm not going to stream any YouTubers, but I do want to get like the news footage. That's all we have when there's press conferences and stuff. That's really all we have. I like to get it straight from police, but a news anchor is good too, and the police go on there as well. So let's do a live filter. Waiting is a pain in the butt, but I don't want to go back to the autopsy and oh, there's Melissa. Hey, Melissa, I don't want to go back to the autopsy or back to the affidavit and miss it. So that's all I see. I don't want to hear this press conference at all. Oh, thank you, Paul. I've wondered if you did too. I don't know the glare. So I found there's not really anything official. I found this Fox News that has okay, I'll show you. Mine either, Lorianne. Hey, Kazzy B. I will. We've been going through a lot of the Morphew stuff. I don't know if I hadn't seen you in here yet, which is really good, but we don't want to miss if they do release these autopsy results. So all we've seen about it, like on any, they're showing the search for him there, and then they show here, awaiting for Gabby Petito autopsy results. That was like 5 minutes ago. So they're just waiting. So we really don't know. I'm gonna go back to WFLA for just a minute. Or should I check Twitter, you guys? I don't know. Let's just do a quick Twitter check. Chicken wow. Come on, computer. What are you doing? Hey, Amanda. Okay. News 3 just in, which I don't know if that's a reliable news source at all. Never seen them. They do have they're verified, but we did look at that article. All it said is that it confirms it's her. And they're waiting on, let's see, preliminary autopsy results likely Tuesday. Autopsy pending. Sometimes you have to go down just a little bit because of there's so many people talking about it. So the family attorney released a statement too. That's one other thing that's happened in the last few minutes. And they just said, we appreciate the media for giving us our space, and we will be making a statement when Gabby comes home. So we can check this article. Just this is not the same one. Yeah, the incognito gypsy, the glare, he's really good, and he tells it like it is. Like, always appreciate his opinions because sometimes he makes me see things I wouldn't see otherwise. Mary Ann, that's what I don't know. I don't know. I don't know yet. Let's give it just a minute. This computer is going slow for some reason all of a sudden. Please don't give me trouble right now, okay? You guys. Oh, we gotta wait for a minute. I just want to know the cause of death. Based on her saying that he grabbed her face, I'm guessing he strangled her. Yeah, and then that call yesterday, we know that he was hitting her because other people actually witnessed it. Let's try this. I don't know why this is doing this. It's not my computer, so I don't know if this is gonna work. Uh, huh? Or drowned her. The cross was by water. Amanda, they said that it was 300 yards. I got confused because someone said 900, so 900 feet. 300 yards. Bye, Janet. Have a good evening. Let's see. I don't know what is happening, you guys. I'm closing that out. We're not reading that article. We are, Amanda, but I don't know. I mean, I can go to some live coverage right now. I was just going through tweets to see if anyone had any other live coverage. This is what was showing on Fox a few minutes ago, awaiting autopsy results. I guess they'll come on once they're in. I know WFLA has been like live nonstop, so we can check that out for a minute. I'm gonna we'll watch this. I'm gonna go have a smoke break, which I'll be commenting with you guys, and then I'll be right back.
You can't see through some dense wooded areas when you're on an ATV or when you're using your binoculars or even from the sky because you have all of that leaf coverage overhead. So some of the most dense wooded areas, but with thermal imaging, can you see into that dense area, especially at night?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that
down.
I mean, it is thick. It's thick out there.
It's thick.
And I think in a movie, you would be able to see him in a movie, right? But this is real life. Sort of like people have asked about fingerprints. Most investigators will tell you fingerprints it's not like the movies. To get a really good print is not as common as we think.
Right.
And I would bet it's similar to this. It's great technology, but it's not like it would be in the movies. And I think, there are areas of brush that Paul pointed out. I'm just going to guess that in some of those areas that Paul showed us that we're seeing here, maybe not this area because it's not that thick. I'm going to say that the thermal imaging or the night vision is not going to pierce through all the way down into the bottom of those wooded areas. Again, it's a guess, but maybe somebody watching can offer some insight on that.
I would love to hear from. We have a lot. I've had a lot of in my email inbox, a lot of retired LEO and it's been fascinating to hear from folks as far as some of the tactics that are and are not on the table. But let us know here in the comment section, #AJB, #AWalt, and we can animate your comment on screen if you use one of our hashtags. Staying with YouTube for 2 more comments here from Trey on YouTube, #AJB. When do we hear the autopsy results? And we know that the autopsy is being conducted in Northwest Wyoming, again, on the remains matching the description of Gabby Petito that was found there in Northwest Wyoming. And we don't know when we hear the autopsy results. And people have been asking too here. And I had another comment in the queue here pertaining
Sorry,
to...
you guys. I'm out here smoking, but I wanted to add something.
I'm looking it up right now.
Here it is. Hold on. We're going to jump to Facebook here for just a moment to Jamie Jose Salgado's comment here, #AJB. How long does it normally take to get the autopsy report back? Also, has there been any more information on the 2 women that were found dead near where Gabby and Brian were pulled over? First and foremost, to the second point of Jamie's comment here, you were on the story.
Yeah, so right after we aired our story, which pointed out the similarities between the case, the tangled timelines, and some of the places they'd been, like the Moonflower, right? Moonflower co-op.
Yep.
But the Grand County Sheriff's Department said on Friday night, cases are not related. Sadly, though, that small town, that small area, just got hit with 2 tragedies within a short period of time. The Teton County coroner says it usually takes 2 to 3 weeks to issue an autopsy report, but this report could take longer. So by state law, the coroner could request more time. So it could be 2 to 3 weeks before we actually know a cause of death.
Right. And now, are you talking about the preliminary results, or are you talking about the official results?
This is from WFLA, so I'm going to say that it's true. This is the coroner in that county saying Grand Teton, right? So it's Teton County.
Correct.
Coroner says it's usually takes 2 to 3 weeks to issue an autopsy report. Now that's not a preliminary report. Do they do something called a preliminary report?
Now, as I understand it, most agencies, most medical examiners' offices do release preliminary reports when
especially a case like this.
Especially a case like this.
You have a grieving family that want to know, and you have a person of interest. By the way, when I look at the legal definition, just to give people an idea of what person of interest means, it is, hold on, I have a legal, 1 second. It does, what did I do with that? I lost it.
Jamie, thank you for your comment here. We're gonna go back here to Trey's comment here from YouTube. More hashtag AJB, hashtag AWalt comments coming up here momentarily across YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, where we're live. And additionally, while Walt looks that up, a reminder here, folks, all of our articles and the ones that Walt keeps talking about is on WFLA.com and the WFLA app. If you don't want to listen to us and hear it from us, just go read it for yourself. Our hardworking team behind the scenes.
So, okay, quit the screen share for a minute. So that statement just came out. That's why y'all seen me outside trying to hurry up and get it up for you. The FBI's commitment to justice is at the forefront of each and every investigation, said FBI Denver Special Agent in charge Michael Schneider. The FBI and our partners remain dedicated to ensuring anyone responsible for or complicit in Mrs. Petito's death is held accountable for their actions. Mr. Brian Laundrie has been named a person of interest. Anyone with information concerning Mr. Laundrie's role in this matter or his current whereabouts should contact the FBI. So thank you guys. Yes, so that is what I'm surprised they haven't put out, like I said, I wondered if they would put out like a warrant for him once they found the manner of death to be homicide, because who else? I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess. It's still so early. What do you guys think? And sorry about the camera quality. It is what it is on the computer. Got a CNN notification. Okay, do you want to check it out? You want me to go to CNN's website? We'll do it this way this time. So I'm gonna stay on camera with you guys for a little bit. I like that. It feels so much more personal. And yeah. So we'll go here. Although I can't see myself, which is weird, but that's okay. CNN. Okay. To search for Brian Laundrie, Gabby Petito. We'll just search her name and see what comes up. Trending, Gabby Petito. Updated at 5:08 p.m. So 6 minutes ago. Arr. Which, yeah, this is nothing new, you guys. But let's check out the article and see what it says. It was just updated. So, autopsy results have confirmed that the remains found Sunday in the Bridger-Teton National Forest are those of Gabby Petito, a 22-year-old woman who disappeared while on a trip exploring national parks with her fiance. Man, you guys. Woofy, I know. They made a statement that they knew exactly where she was. Okay, let's go to Twitter and find that. And then, or exactly where he was, and they obviously did not. I think sometimes they want maybe the public to feel like they have things under control that they don't, or I don't know. just do this. It'll be a Google search, but we'll pull up their Twitter page. FBI Denver appreciates the collaboration of all agencies and personnel who assisted in the search, recovery, and identification efforts. So this is for immediate release. This is their news release. Investigators from the FBI Denver field office in Wyoming, resident agencies, the National Park Service, U.S. Forest Service, Teton County Sheriff's Office, Teton County Search and Rescue, and Jackson Police Department participated in a search for evidence in a remote area of the Grand Teton National Park. On Sunday, September 19th, human remains were located and recovered consistent with the description of Gabrielle Petito. The remains were transported to the Teton County Coroner's Office for forensic examination to confirm identity and determine the manner and cause of death. Teton County Coroner Dr. Brent Blue confirmed the remains are those of Gabrielle Venora Petito. I love her middle name. That is so beautiful. Her whole name is beautiful. Gabrielle Venora. Really unique. Date of birth, March 19th, 1999. Coroner's Blue initial determination for the manners of death is homicide. The cause of death remains pending final autopsy results. Wonder what made them decide that it was homicide. I'm sure you guys probably can't read that, so I'll continue to read that for you guys. The FBI's commitment to justice is at the forefront of each and every investigation, said FBI Denver Special Agent in Charge Michael Schneider. The FBI and our partners remain dedicated to ensuring anyone responsible for or complicit in Miss Petito's death is held accountable for their actions. Mr. Brian Laundrie has been named a person of interest. Anyone with information concerning Mr. Laundrie's role in this matter or his current whereabouts should contact the FBI. The forensic search has concluded of the Spread Creek dispersed camping area, and law enforcement have released the area. The FBI is seeking information from anyone who utilized the Spread Creek dispersed camping area between the dates of August 27th, who may have had contact with Mrs. Petito or Mr. Laundrie, or who may have seen their vehicle. The Spread Creek dispersed camping area is located within the Bridger-Teton National Forest on the east boundary of Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. For photos and details, please see the FBI's Seeking Information poster for Miss Petito. Relevant information may be submitted to the FBI online at tips.fbi.gov or by phone at 1-800-CALL-FBI or 303-629-7171. Photos and videos may be uploaded via the FBI's digital media tip line dedicated to this case, and that is fbi.gov/Petito. If you find or see anything that you think is relevant and could help, you can upload it directly there at fbi.gov/Petito. FBI Denver thanks the public for their continuing support of this investigation and the valuable tips that have been submitted. FBI Denver appreciates the collaboration of all agencies and personnel who assisted in the search, recovery, and identification efforts. We extend sincere condolences to Gabby's family, friends, and all the people whose lives have been touched. So, sorry, you guys, I was not able to read anything. I know some Hispanic people named Gabriella. Death is ruled a homicide, but cause of death is pending. Yeah, how would they know that? I don't know. Oh, I missed a lot of your comments. Hold on. Okay, yeah, that it's a tweet, which it has this picture. I'll put it back up for you guys. Thank you, Will, so much for sending that. I love when you guys send me stuff. I appreciate it so much because it helps a ton, which I'm constantly like, that's why I like doing this live with y'all because otherwise I'm just like doing it on my own, like a obsessive, crazy person, continuously checking for all the new. But how could they rule it a homicide without the cause of death? Probably multiple injuries and not sure which or damage. Hmm. But the actual oh, okay, I see what you guys are saying. Like in Gannon's case, he had so many injuries and they were trying to decide which one was actually what finally. I get it. Took me a second. Oh my God, that is just so sad, you guys. Under knife wounds. I'm sure he had plenty of like tools and like knives and hatchets and things like that because people that are like in the woods like that, they're carrying that stuff with them. Don't you guys think so? And then I can go through kind of what we discussed earlier. Here's a her dad's tweet right after she was found and everything. And then we have, these possible sightings, which I don't know about the guy on the left, but I know for sure, and that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about that. That is not him. You can look closely and see. And there are reputable news sources. The New York Post, I have to scoot over so y'all can see me. The New York Post shared this and said that he was, spotted, and many others. When now the police have actually come out and said no, that wasn't him. Probably a homeless guy or something in the neighborhood. And it's awesome that the person that found it like turned it in. But let's not share it and pass it along as if we know for a fact that it's him. It looks really nothing like him, with the contrast change, which is what the one. So I think this is more like the original, might even be lightened a little bit, because what I first originally saw was really dark, and then this is the like altered one to kind of see more details. And then this was from this morning. He's a reporter, a verified reporter. Who must be at the search site and was kind of showing pictures of that, which I want to get a better view of that. I wonder if I could find it and right now, like where they're searching now, because I know it's a different spot than where they were at first. Check y'all's comments. I don't think it looks like him. Blunt trauma. His bare hands could have absolutely strangulation or blunt trauma. Like, I think it was a crime of passion too. Some people think I saw Sandy Beach in here, by the way. Hi, Sandy Beach. Some people, she said it that she thought it was planned, which to me, like, how those relationships are where they're so intense and you like love so much, especially when you're young, immature, and all that. You love so hard, but you fight so hard too, and you get just so like I don't know if you guys have probably have had relationships like that, um, and things are always like really intense. So to me, it makes sense that maybe he snapped. Let's see. I want to try to find. I'm gonna stop this for a minute. Um, hey Sandy Beach. I want to try to find really quickly where where they're searching today. It just sucks that there's not more live coverage of the search area like there had been, because I really want like a view of it. Those photos were so small, and even I clicked on them, you just couldn't see that good. I don't think that. Know what I should be doing though. I'm going to leave that up just in case anybody comes in that hadn't seen it. I'm doing a Twitter search for the search. Search Brian Laundries is what I searched just to see if we can get anything. Here's an article. Gabby Petito's dad connected to incident at Laundrie's home day before. Don't know what that is. Not going to read it because who knows? It's probably not true. It's crazy that people would straight up make up things. Okay, here we go. In these kind of situations to get like attention and stuff, but it happens. It's just so freaking bizarre. Get a life for real. I wonder how far we got in that affidavit. I do not want to stop, but I've been on here forever. I'm going to have to come back. Okay. So this Northport police, this is some photos of where they're at today. It said by land and by air. Huh. You know, there's tons of like snakes and gators and all that stuff out there. It's crazy. Oh, they're drones, I guess. Wow. Pretty cool, you guys. I think one really good thing about so many people being super interested, invested in this is that they're going to demand for justice. They're going to demand for them to keep searching. They're going to demand somebody pays for it. I think that can help. If she was shot, then he definitely killed those two girls. I don't think he planned it. He's smart enough to have done it better, but mostly I can't imagine a motive behind premeditation because of his artwork. His artwork is pretty crazy. I guess in some of his art, others have as well, and it's violent and dark. That is true, but the odds are astronomical. There hasn't been a violent crime there for a long time, I think, or it's not that common. They said where Suzanne went missing from, there hasn't been a violent crime since 1980. That is so insane. Okay, you haven't seen it, Meg? Let me show you guys. I think I have it turned off where the sound won't, like, which I can just turn the volume down. Oh wait, let's see what this is really quick. Okay. Can y'all hear that, by the way? Can y'all hear that video? There are a lot of bald guys who snap like Chris Coleman. It had been even longer before that. Oh my gosh, Duke, that's crazy. Okay, but could you hear that video that played? Nope. Okay, awesome. All right. Okay. Here is from his Instagram, which he was very talented. Like, even that photo there. Hold up. Hold up. Let's do some analyzing, okay? Even no here video. Okay. Even that one there is just so pretty and it looks like, I don't know, like he was very good at both of them were very good at this social media thing. Okay, incognito gypsy. I'm getting hungry too. What you cooking us? What you kicking us? And here they're like, oh, you guys, I had friends who got married on a rock like that out in the middle of a river down here called the New River. It was so cool. But sobering mind, I don't know. But I know that when the police detective was being interviewed outside of the search area. He was asked if Brian had a gun, and he said he would not answer that. So he couldn't answer it. I think I have that video too, but I might have set as private. Ooh, yummy Taco Tuesday. Stromboli, that sounds good. All right, Marie, thank you, and have a good night. I'm hungry too, Woofy. Yes, Broken Justice, I have heard of that. A couple times it comes up in some of these cases, like the Lori Vallow. I also looked into it, and someone tried to use this death zone thing as their defense because there's not any people who live in this area, so there's no jurors. And technically, you couldn't be tried for any crime. But someone tried to use it as their defense when they were being charged with a hunting crime, and they still got charged. So I can already see the trial. I was grumpy from my vegan diet. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you want to be vegan or whatever, that is totally cool, whatever you want to do. But for me, I gotta have cheese. I gotta have like steak. I need all the. I wish I could email you some. Okay, let's look at a couple of these. Just there's nothing else happening. I guess we'll have to come back tomorrow for more affidavit reading. It's going to take a few videos, but I really want to get through it. I didn't read at all without you guys, and I can't promise that anymore. But anyways, this right here, it's I guess spinach and then some kind of, I wonder what kind of sausage that is. I thought that was such an odd choice. Then they have a little candle lit. Gabby was like really good at aesthetic art, like making. She had this aesthetic that she was I don't know. If you look at her Instagram, you can see it kind of all has there's a pattern to it. It looks it all fits together. Okay, here's where the art starts. He was supposedly very obsessed with Hellboy, and he did watercolor painting. He also did some stencil art. With pancakes, like what? That one right there is pretty creepy looking. Just want to say I'm a really big fan at Art of MM. It might sound silly to say. First time I picked up Hellboy, oh, he was 8 years old. Pen and watercolor for Frankenstein. Last Hellboy watercolor, I promise. So if I join, I can see that other video. No, I made it private, but I don't care to show it. I hope I didn't delete it. After we get through this, it's pretty quick. Let me look and I'll find out. Because I only made it private because of there's so much coverage on the case. I really didn't want to overdo it and be, you know what I mean? So it was the video that I showed the guy. It's private. You can't link it. But let me get through this art and we'll go back. This one right here is creepy. 786-519-3708. Wonder what that means. 786-519-3708. I want to Google that. There it is. Again, the power of black light. Ugh. Who watches The Watchmen? I went back to that pyramid one because that kind of I don't know, it just. Throw back to some trippy times, painting under the black light with the sickest friends I could have. Trippy art. I wonder if they did stuff like LSD, mushrooms, that kind of thing. Fight Club is so weirdly in a lot of crimes that I talk about. His room shows his Watchmen collection. This was weird, huh? Like the sheep and the there's some symbolism there, though, if you are into that kind of thing. Now, I'm not so much. I'm really hard to convince. Oh, hey, Dave. Thank you for stopping in. I'm really hard to convince about that stuff, but I do see, like, there's a lot of stuff, the crescents, the pyramids. Like, look at that. Ugh, that's pretty. So this I loved. They found this piano like on a at a yard sale or on a sidewalk somewhere, and they repainted it. They hand painted it themselves, and all the plants on top were from their hikes and stuff. See, hand painted piano. I love that so much. I really want to do that. I think it'd be like really fulfilling and fun. Uh, these ones, so there's that the talk about the books, which I have a community post that kind of has a collage I made of him with those books, but that's one of them right there. Um, and yeah, that one is just scary. Like, I don't know. I know it could be nothing, but also it's just weird, I guess, looking back. um, let's look at this for a second. Oh shoot, I don't have it where that you can hear the sound. Hold up. Just so I can look for that video for you, and then I'll probably go, you guys, and then come back tomorrow for more you know, more of the affidavit. I really want to keep reading it, but it's just been so long since we've been on here. I don't know how to make my mic do it. Hold up. Share screen. Share audio. Share. Because you'll have to hear the audio too if I can get this video back up for just a minute.
Once Brian is found, or when we determine protocol and the policy and whether or not the police acted in the right way and the investigation was coordinated with the right effort and with the right strategy, that can all be handled in the future, and we can have that conversation at a later date. Right now, it's about finding Brian. So I understand the frustration. I get it. I've been reading all the comments, people being extremely highly critical of law enforcement. But right now, we need to be focusing on finding Brian.
And also the second thing, just take time also to offer our condolences to the Petito and Schmidt families. We know her father posted that beautiful tribute, the photo of her the other day. I mean, this is really a confirmation, JB, of the news that this family was given the other day, but that still can't be lost too. Obviously, there's a lot of focus on the continued search to find her fiance, high school sweetheart, find him. But again, just giving space to this family that did just lose their 22-year-old daughter in a case that has captivated the country, has captivated the world. And again, we want to respect their privacy, give them time to grieve there. And I know there's been so much outpouring of support for this family. And I can tell you from my conversation with Mr. Petito last week that that was helping them through this difficult time, this difficult search, knowing this might not end well, but so many people of you out there on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, have just been showing so much love and support for this young woman and her family, and hopefully that can help them at least try to cope with this devastating news.
Yeah, and I will again remind our viewers that we have been talking about Gabby Petito and her memory, and trying to keep things in perspective here.
Okay. Okay, you guys. I deleted the video, and I'm trying to I found one clip. It's this interview. And I found one clip of my screen recording, but the the detective is outside. It's so hard to see. He's outside the search area, and he's asked here a question about if maybe he was suicidal. Let me show you.
Suicidal. I don't that I'm comfortable saying that. I think we could, anything's possible.
Can you speak to some of the tactics and other canine units? So then, in that interview, which you could probably find, I wish that, and I think I delete, like when I delete stuff, I delete it from everywhere because I need the room. Um, yeah. So on that interview, wait, I didn't. I found it. What is wrong with me? You guys. Okay, I got it. I'm so sorry. There's 85 comments I missed from the last time I was on this, which I was looking at my phone. So I hope you're still here. I totally did find it. I'm going to play it to you. Oh, thanks, Dave. I can play that for you. Then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, I got kicked off of my own thing. Here is that video. It's only 2 minutes long. Oh my gosh, it's just so ridiculously hard to find. Okay. Holy moly. Yeah, Shar definitely was trying to look at like all possible. I from the beginning was not so open-minded with this one, I'll be honest. But it's okay. My stomach's growling, y'all. Okay, I kicked myself off completely. Here's the video. It's very short. But here.
Media and all the craziness that is happening. So they are currently looking for Brian now too. Gabby and Brian are both missing. But in my opinion, only one of them chose to be missing. There are a ton of police looking in the woods for Brian right now as we speak. And one of them was answering questions for the media. And I found it really interesting what he wouldn't answer. So I want to show a couple clips to you guys and then I'll come back.
Publicized. I don't have
Any chance that the family thinks he's suicidal?
I don't know that I'm comfortable saying that. I think we can, anything's possible.
Can you speak to some of the tactics? I know there's canine units. I'll put pictures in the pauses.
Correct.
Does Brian own a gun?
I cannot speak to that.
Is there any reason that people that
Hold on. Can you go back like 10 seconds on there like you can? Okay, I put photos in between the questions. There was 3 questions. This one here is about the gun, so listen closely.
Correct.
does Brian own a gun?
I cannot speak to that.
Is there any
The tug of the ear, body language, like I've seen them say that that's like a sign of being deceitful or whatever.
I cannot speak to that.
Is there any reason that people that live nearby or people
that's fair to say. I mean, you have somebody, there's an enormous amount of pressure, I'm sure, on him to provide answers on what's going on here.
What was his emotional state when he left his parents' house?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Update maybe.
Do you think we got everybody?
So I hope you guys heard that. I couldn't watch comments as it was going. Let's see. Can you see Aura's Gypsy? Let me see. What, like in the chat, you guys? I don't see anybody by that name. Oh, asking her incognito if she can see Aura. I'm sorry. That's so funny. Oh, I definitely want to do some kind of collab. That'd be awesome. Scott Reich on the park ranger female saw him slapping her. Sorry, I should be in bed. Janet, we're getting ready to go anyways. We'll come back tomorrow and do more of the affidavit. So that's pretty much it. We know she was positively identified, and we know that they're saying that cause of death was homicide, or, you know, we're just waiting. Aphrodite's threw the Three of Swords upside down. She may have had help. I think that's what that was going to say. Hey, Mexi. They're not even searching at night, right? No, they're not. They were leaving in the evenings. I saw this and I just felt he really did. Yeah. I hope he's still alive because I think that he should pay for what he's done, you know? I think that he's like a huge coward who doesn't want to face the people that he's hurt and like the family and all of that, and he doesn't want to people to even see his face knowing what he's done. I just think that's the kind of person he is. So yeah, Mexi, he does like spirit box readings and stuff, and that was a really good video. I a couple times was shocked. I commented all throughout it. I feel bad leaving like a bunch of comments because if you're watching along with a live, you want to comment as you go, but then you're like spamming the comment section. I think I just left a few though. And answer the questions that her parents want answered. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna go. This has been a long one, a super long one. Let's see, like 2 hours and 30 minutes. What did we get from the affidavit? Because that's what we were doing. And I'm sorry to you guys who were here for that. Because we didn't get through much of it because of everything happening. We did make it through a few pages, and we've learned some more, right? We learned about all of Barry's different stories. We yesterday learned about the feet prints in the bobcat, about Suzanne's note app, about the screenshot he accidentally took, which is how we know he deleted the message. Today, we didn't learn much except for he lied a lot. His statements didn't match. They never added up, you know, so oh, thank you, Sober in Mind. I appreciate that. Oh, you didn't know about Mexi Incognito Gypsy? Oh, girl, you got to go to his channel. His Summer Wells, like, it was a few videos back. It wasn't the live, it's afterward. He puts together the findings. Oh my gosh, they were so good. I mean, you could feel like, ugh, I don't know, you could just feel it. Super, super good. Innocent until proven guilty, but I agree. All the red flags point to him. Yeah. Thank you so much, Char. Thank all of you guys. I sent your video to Sandy Beach, actually. But yeah, thank all of you guys for being here. I love you guys. I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you, Violet. I appreciate you so much. I do always see your name, and I so appreciate it. Yeah. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Maybe they'll find Brian. Let's keep our fingers crossed. And I will see you tomorrow. Let me find the end broadcast. Okay. Bye. See you later. Oh,